Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Covenant Brothers. This is episode 3. Not as much of a hiatus between episode 3 and episode 2 as there was from episode 2 to episode 1, so, that's a good improvement. But I'm here joined again by none other than the legend Nathan Middleton.
Woohoo!
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Doing great.
Yeah. So, if you didn't see our last episode, we talked a bit about our own personal airport horror stories, and the episode, and our last episode is titled appropriately. And so, if you want to hear a bit about both of our worst airport experiences, you can go check that out there. But today,
Yeah, it was a good one.
yeah, that one was a lot of fun to record. I had really a lot of English. I have really had a lot of fun recording that one and just sharing those stories. And yeah, I think we both learned, heard some stuff that I don't think either of us have fully told the other before. But anyway, that was that episode. If you want, you can go check that out. But for today, Nathan, what are we talking about today? Sorry to put you on the spot. I don't know. Just
Oh, holy smokes! We hadn't talked about this. Well, actually, in the last episode, we mentioned a topic that we were going to talk about just to get us started, and then we totally went in a whole different direction. And so, I guess the whole idea of this podcast is for us just to have unscripted conversations. So it's kind of funny how that that moment when we were like, okay, we're gonna maybe have this as an idea, and then it went a totally different way.
and we didn't talk about it at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah, and I
Yeah.
can't even remember what it was anymore.
Yeah. Oh, and I just remembered, if you're paying attention if you're watching the video of this instead of just the audio, you may notice something very different, and that is that Nathan is wearing a hat. I don't know. He may have actually been wearing a hat.
What?
I don't know.
I was wearing no, it's you.
You can,
You got the
see how
bald
little.
head or like buzzed head.
Yeah, that's
different.
it.
You don't have the Jesus hair.
Yeah, I don't have the Jesus hair anymore. Yeah, that's true. No. I honestly don't even know if you were even wearing a hat last time. I don't remember.
I might have been, but I think the first one it was. The second one, maybe not. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think either of us are paying attention really.
My hair's gone to the point where like it gets too long, and like when I wake up in the morning, I have to put a hat to flatten it. Or yeah. Because otherwise, I got like the weird cowlick.
So do you do that instead of brushing, or even with brushing, does you still
Even
have to?
with brushing, it just my hair like sticks. Like if I wake up and it's put in a certain position, it like likes to stay there. And unless I have like a shower or I put a cap on, then I'm able to smooth it out.
Mm.
Yeah, so I find this is the best method, and then I'll take it off, and then it'll. Yeah, I need to get my hair cut soon, but I mean, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
But I miss. Okay, so that is something like that I really miss being here in Canada is getting my hair cut in Thailand. Like I've actually told quite a few friends this, recently actually, is how nice and affordable it is to get your hair cut in Thailand, and it's a whole ordeal. You're not just going there to get like your hair cut. It's like you're going there to get groomed as well. Like the guy will use a straight edge. He'll trim your beard if you want it. If you don't, he won't touch it. But I really just enjoy that aspect of it, is being able to be taken care of. Right? It's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
He shaves you, and he like makes everything perfect and clean and straight edges, like cleans all the edges, make sure there's no stragglers or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then he'll wash your face with a hot towel, and then he'll give you like a quick shoulder and arm massage. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, a lot of barbers are like that. Barber I went to, but I didn't get like a full-on massage or anything, but it was still nice to have my hair cut after 3 years.
Yeah.
It was my last haircut, a month before all the lockdowns. So, my first haircut since COVID or whatever. So, I actually filmed the whole video about that. just because. So that'll be up at some point. I don't know, but maybe it is already.
Yeah,
up by
I
the time
like
this
it.
comes
It
out.
looks great.
Yeah, thank you. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I wanted to get it completely shaved off, but I wanted to keep the beard, so I'll keep growing out the beard. I did get it trimmed and cleaned up a little bit. And yeah, that was a few days ago. I got my hair cut, but yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, the prices too, like the price that I paid to get my hair cut, a lot cheaper than it would have cost in Canada, for sure.
Yeah, you can get about like 5 haircuts in Thailand for what one is worth here.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it was kind of.
And
Go ahead.
you do have to figure out the learning curve too. Even still for me, because right now I'm getting my lovely mother to help me with my cutting my hair because it's cheaper, and it's just quick and easy. It grows back anyways.
Right.
I've gotten more comfortable with that. But I find that I always forget, is the longer clip like the shorter one? Like, does that cut it shorter or does it cut it longer? The higher, the number of the clip, is that
right.
The
Like
longer
razor,
of length that it keeps, or longer of length that it cuts. Anyways, there's this one time where I got confused in the Thai barber shop, and I didn't know what to say, and because I wanted to try something different. I think I got too ambitious and said the wrong number. And then he cuts. He does the first stroke like across the top of my head, and it's like buzzed, like a bit longer than what yours is right now, but it was just about that, and I go like, ah! I made like a screech or whatever,
and at that point,
and then
it's too late.
He starts laughing. He's like, what? Come alive? And he's like, he starts like laughing, and he's like, yeah, we have to, do it now, and so I got it all the way buzzed, and it was like the shortest I've ever got before, and like I've never got it that short, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I like this, and then it was a couple days later. We were doing our children's ministry at the tower, at the lighthouse, teaching English, and I was playing or trying to teach one of the kids how to play road hockey with a hockey stick, and he was in front of me trying to grab the ball because it got underneath the vehicle. He was trying to get it from underneath, and I was trying to help, but I was behind him, and he all of a sudden jerked his stick backwards.
Ooh.
And the butt end of the stick hit my tooth, my front teeth, chipped it, and so I have this extremely short haircut, and then I get this chipped tooth.
I remember hearing about the chipped tooth, but yeah.
Yes, yeah, and then somehow I also caught pink eye. I forget like what it was exactly. I think I might have touched something and then just not wash my hands properly, and after like being sweaty and playing around with the kids and just doing a bunch of stuff, all over, and it's just a whole different world over there with cuts and bruises and all that sort of stuff. You have to take really good care of it, and where here I tend to just let things bleed sometimes because it'll just dry up.
Sure.
But there you want to clean it as soon as possible. Anyways, I started getting like pink eye. And it was just a very small development, and at the time I was too lazy to buy my own eye drops, and I borrowed them from someone else. and then all of a sudden it got worse, and I had to have a patch over my eye for a while. So I have this chipped tooth, I have a patch over my eye, and I got like buzzed hair, and it was hilarious. And hi, Mom. Yes?
Are you needing the Nevo app on?
No, you're good.
Okay, because we're right there, I'm like, uh-oh.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so it was quite the story. I looked like Jim Carrey. That was the thing, and I had a few pictures of myself with that whole thing. And I ended up deleting them, and I wish I would have still had them.
Yeah, I was about to say you should should include
Yeah.
them in the video, but yeah, I guess if they're
Yeah, I
going,
know. I wish. Yeah. The only
uh,
photo of me with that short of hair was the one with Yipsera and me up on the tower on the roof, sitting on the
mm,
ledge. That was the only
okay.
photo left of me with that like haircut. But I got my tooth filled at the time, and my pink eye had gone, so it was just the short hair.
I don't. I remember hearing about the chipped tooth, but I didn't realize about like the whole
Yeah.
haircut massacre, whatever. I don't know. Maybe a
Yeah,
bit harsh to
massacre.
say it, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
haircut
That's a
thing
good
and
title.
the whole pink eye and the eye patch must,
Yeah.
must especially if you like really showed your teeth with like the chipped tooth and everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's the
especially with
front
the
tooth
buzz
too,
cut.
so
Yeah, with the front tooth. Definitely would have looked like you got into like a fight or something.
yeah.
Like,
But like the
getting into
thing
trouble.
is, it's like it was so cheap to get it filled. It was awesome. It cost me like $40 or $1,000 and it was neat too because the Thai bank account that I have in Thailand, the one of the accounts that I ended up the account that I ended up opening up had I paid a bit extra just to initialize the
Mm.
opening, but it gave me up to I think it was $1,000 insurance each
Really?
month, and so I I didn't even have to pay for the tooth filling.
So you got your
The
tooth filling for free, essentially.
yeah,
That's awesome.
the insurance covered it, and it wasn't even like my own insurance that my travel insurance that covered that. I didn't even have to go through them. It was
There's insurance with the Thai bank account.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah,
That's interesting. I'll be honest. I've
mm-hmm.
been putting off getting a Thai bank account. I meant to do it, but I haven't done it yet. But knowing
Yeah,
that there's a bit of basic insurance that comes with it, that might be a little
yeah,
added bonus and
yeah.
incentive
I'm
to
not
get
sure if
one.
it's
Yeah.
different in it now. I
It
mean,
very
that
well
was
could
like
be, but yeah,
6, 7 years ago when I opened
uh,
that.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
still. But
Yeah.
no. I that is one good thing about being in Thailand. Thankfully,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had to do it too much. I
Yeah.
have been pretty good staying away from, accidents, um,
Yeah.
and stuff, while I've been in Thailand. But for things like, chipped tooth um, and just and haircuts and even eye care also is
Mm-hmm.
significantly cheaper in Thailand than it is in Canada.
Yeah.
And uh, and yeah, and it's interesting because like a year or two ago in the summer, because of course I went back home to Canada to work for the summer to save up money to come back to Thailand while I was still going through the Bible college, and with one of my coworkers who is also one of my boss's sons. He was like, for one of the days or weeks or whatever, we'd go to like the dentist and he'd get his like a tooth filled or whatever for like
Mm-hmm.
cavities or something, and it would cost him like $1,000 per tooth to get it filled over in
Yeah.
Canada at the dentist there. And then here it's like 1,000 baht or like $40 Canadian,
Yeah.
and you get like the same thing to fill it in. So
Yeah.
significantly cheaper. And it's also interesting because I remember hearing a few years ago, I think it was Pastor Terry, she like chipped her tooth one summer in Canada while
Mm-hmm.
they were in Canada, and they were only like a few weeks away from coming back to Thailand for the year. And
Yeah.
instead of going to the dentist in Canada to fix her tooth,
Yeah. It's just weird.
she just dealt with having the painful chipped tooth for a few weeks, and then
Yeah.
once they made it back to Thailand, she went to the dentist in Thailand
Yeah.
to get it fixed up and saved like thousands of dollars just by waiting a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the
Yeah.
price is so different.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then haircuts, same thing. I think it was last year, something like that. Not that long ago. I was with
Mm-hmm.
my great aunt. Me and my family went to my great aunt's place shortly before I went to Thailand. I think this was right before my fourth year. I was like a few weeks into starting my fourth year, and my great aunt gave me like a gift before I went back, and a few and part of her gift was $30 that, she specifically said this is for a haircut. Because I still had super long hair then. Because again, I was growing out for 3 years, and this was been like 2 years in growing. So it was still fairly long. And of course, my great aunt doesn't like men to have long hair. Or
it was like a sign. It was like the soap in the stocking.
Yeah. And it was interesting, and I did tell her that I'll cut my hair eventually, but probably not soon, and that I'll probably get my hair cut in Thailand actually, because she gave me $30 for a haircut, because that's about how much it would cost to get a haircut in Canada, and I personally told her that in Thailand I could get like 6 haircuts for this price, and she was kind of surprised when I said that, and just on looking back, part of me kind of thinks I should have kept my mouth shut. She didn't take the money back, but it was certainly incentivizing her to do that. Just like, oh well, in that case, I'll take 25 of that back. But but no, that was pretty funny. And I think I haven't talked to her yet since I got the haircut. I just got it a few days ago, but I'll tell her over the phone next time I talk to her. I got my haircut. I'm sure she'll be happy about that. She's been kind of telling me I should get my haircut for a while now, so yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, and I was also just going to add a bit on eye care as well. I know you have good vision, right? You've never had to wear glasses or anything, right? Or have you?
No, I haven't.
No. Yeah. Well, I still have glasses, and I haven't had to do any like eye care doctor glasses things in Thailand yet. But I have heard and seen a bit that even eye care is significantly cheaper in Thailand as well, and glasses are super cheap. Like there, just a few weeks ago, I was looking through, like in the mall, there was like a shop that was like selling eyeglasses frames, and they were going for like the most expensive ones that they were advertising were like just under 1,000 baht. They're few like under 500 baht, I think I saw. But that's like $20 to $40 for a pair of glasses, which is super cheap because in Canada, like 100, 150 is a cheap pair. $150, which is like 3 times as expensive as those frames that I saw in Thailand. And I probably should buy one soon because I have 2 pairs of glasses right now, and be honest, both of them are broken in some degree. One of them is like completely broken, won't even stay on my face because it's like it's just broken. But this one, there's like the 2 pads or whatever that like the glasses sit on your nose, and one of them snapped off like a year or 2 ago, and I'm still wearing the same pair of glasses. I'm probably due to get a new one. I still have my prescription with me, but to be honest, I've had that prescription for many years. One of the reasons why I've been holding off getting new glasses is, maybe I've kind of been figuring that, maybe next time I get new glasses, I should also update my prescription, which honestly I think I should do. But I've heard that's also super cheap in Thailand as well.
Do it,
And I know, if I recall correctly, you can correct me if I'm wrong if you know more about this than I do, but if I recall correctly, I think in Ontario, like your health card, like health insurance or whatever, covers like eye care up until you're 18, I think. But after that, you have to pay out of your own pocket. I think it's something like that. I could be wrong, but
probably.
So I think if I were to go back to Canada, because I know growing up, whenever my parents would take me to the eye doctor, that was always like free. At least that's how I understood it. It was always free to do that. But now that I'm an adult now, it would come. I would have to pay out of my own pocket, and from my understanding, it won't be cheap. So, being honest, I'll probably end up doing my new eye test. In Thailand, I just need to find time to do it. It won't be at least for another few weeks because I have to deal with some visa stuff out of country first. But,
visas. Oh, don't get me started. That's another thing. Like traveling in airports, you think you have some horror stories there. Think about visas. Holy smokes.
Yep. Last for as long as this year has been going on, we're nearly in March, And it was in December that my visa issues started, and it still won't be resolved until at least another 2 weeks.
Yeah. How many visas have you gotten so far this year? And over the past 12 months.
In past 12 months, let's see. I got my volunteer visa to first get here. I renewed it the one time. I also had to do another health test at a nearby clinic to renew my work permit, because you have to do like a physical checkup once a year to retain your work permit to renew it. Because the Thai government needs to make sure that if you have a work permit that you're still healthy, right? So I did that. Then I went to renew my volunteer visa. What was it? The third time? Or was this the second time renewing it? And that should have, because I was going, and that should have been fine. But they hardly ever do this. I don't recall them doing this ever. Maybe they have, but I can't remember. But they told me, because normally when you at immigration, when we go to renew our visas, they process it within a few business days or whatever. Then once they're done, we get our new visas and it's done. All is good. But in December, when me and a few others went to renew our visas, after a few days, they didn't give us our visas as normal. Instead, what they did is they gave us...
Gave you more paperwork?
No, they had a stamp in our passports that said that approval of our visa was pending. So we were allowed to stay as if we had an updated visa, because we had to renew our visas a few days before it expired.
You couldn't leave and keep the visa.
Yeah, so they told us that we had to be back in immigration on this date, and then on that date they would confirm whether our visa got approved or not. And we had to be on immigration on that day, and if we left the country before then that's it. And and the thing is that even though you're legally allowed to stay in the country, even though it's past your previous visa, but because your visa renewal is pending, even though your old visa is expired and your new visa technically hasn't been approved yet, but because it's pending, you're still allowed to stay in the country until it's done. Which again, I don't remember them ever doing this except in December. And the reason why, and that wouldn't be an issue normally, except for the fact that in December, like half a week after we went to immigration, I was set with a few others to go to the Philippines for close to a month, and do an outreach over there, teach some do a teaching seminar conference thing on like worship and everything. But the flights were already booked ahead of time, and the flights was before the new date. And what would have been good is that if our visas had just been approved at a normal time that they normally are, instead of having to be pending, then with our visa, we could have applied for a re-entry permit, which allows us to leave the country and come back while still not having our visa expire. Because without that, if you leave the country, your visa expires as soon as you leave the country. But with the re-entry permit, you can come back without having to get a brand new visa. However, we couldn't do that because in order to get a re-entry permit, you need a valid visa. You need it, which, as our visas were pending, even though we were allowed to stay in the country, we technically didn't have a legitimate valid visa at the time, meaning we couldn't get a re-entry permit, but the flight was already booked. We still had to go. So that ended up being a big waste of time and money, and I lost my visa at the end of the day. And so
now you're on a tourist one, and you have to leave the country again.
Oh, well, that's a few steps later, because we were in the Philippines. We did our conference. It went great. But me and one other person, because the other two people who went with us, they were Thai citizens, so they could just go right back to Thailand with no issue. But me and one other person, who we both had the visa issues, we had to stay an extra week in Manila to get our new visa, because we had to get brand new visas and everything. We couldn't just go back with everyone else as the original plan was, because again, we didn't have a re-entry permit to do so. We needed to get a brand new visa at the embassy in Manila. However, apparently we didn't know at the time, but when we went to the embassy in Manila, and we were trying to apply for volunteer visas again, we were informed that the Thai government gave orders to the embassy in Manila that they were not allowed to give out volunteer visas. We had our work permits and everything, which is a big piece of paperwork to show to the consulate workers to get a new volunteer visa, but it's also for work visas also. It's what your work permit's good for. But if you were to show your work permit at the consulate in Manila, that would only be good for a work visa, not a volunteer visa. And we tried everything we could, but there was nothing they could do. We just could not get a volunteer visa. And so we were stuck. We couldn't get a visa. So that was also a big waste of time and money. So we ended up just having to go back to Thailand on tourist visas, which were only 45 days each. Because we're Canadians, we're able to get visa on arrival, which is good for 45 days. And with tourist visas, you are allowed to extend them for 30 days once while you're in the country, but you can't do it a second time. You have to leave the country after, which is where I'm at now in my second tourist visa. My extended tourist visa expires in 2 days. So now I have to leave the country again, which that's what I was doing today. I'm super stressed out still. Everything's kind of chaotic and crazy at the moment. But yeah, in 2 days I have to leave. I'll be going to Malaysia, which I checked the consulate in Malaysia that I'm going to. They do have on the website, they do offer the right volunteer visa. So I know everything's good to go at that consulate. So I'll be going there for about a week and a half. Everything, as far as I know, based on the information I have, should go smoothly, should go well.
Yeah.
In a week and a half, I should finally, 4 months later, have the right visa to come back in Thailand and just resume
for
what I came.
Months.
4 months I've been having these visa issues, and finally, hopefully 2 weeks from now, they'll finally be resolved. And I can finally get back to resuming the thing that I came to Thailand to do in the first place anyway. Because for the 4 months, I just couldn't effectively do it the way I want to, because just too much complicated stuff. So
it's a pain having to deal with all that stuff. It's always like more paperwork. You didn't do this right. Oh, you got to pay this much extra for this. Oh, sorry, we miscommunicated. Now you have to do this paperwork instead. That paperwork doesn't mean anything anymore.
Or just poor communication, like with the embassy in Manila. We had no idea that we couldn't get volunteer visas. And the workers there said that the order came in just a few weeks before we got there. So like we were barely too late to get volunteer visas. And I don't understand why they would get direct orders. That embassy in particular would get direct orders from the Thai government that you can hand out work permits, but not volunteer visas. And of course, even though we had work permits, we can't get work visas because that's if we're getting paid, but we're in Thailand as volunteers. So if we're volunteers and we're in a work permit, that's a major discrepancy, and that would just cause a bunch of issues. So we had to get a volunteer visa, which work permits are good for workers and volunteers. But if your work permit's there, it had to be work permit or nothing. And it's like so absurd. Like, why would they even do that? I don't understand it. But it was, and of course, they don't communicate that. It's not until you apply for a volunteer visa that they tell you that. And it's
it's a whole mess.
It's just frustrating at time.
Well,
I remember a bunch of extra fines and money and time just wasted. 4 months and thousands of dollars later, you know.
So I remember for myself, this was as 7 weeks in Asia was starting, we flew with the team of 7 weekers from Canada, and we took them from the airport all the way to Thailand. And once we landed in Thailand and we were getting ready to get out of the airport, we had to go to immigration first in Bangkok. And we were just getting there. The 7 weekers, they all went through, and then it was me and Alyssa, and we were like trying to figure out how do we get through here, because now we're getting questioned because we just said one wrong thing, because we were on different visas than than the 7 weekers. The 7 weekers were on tourist visas. We were on volunteer visas, and just the way we communicated, like when, like our arrival and our departure, like when we're leaving the country, that sort of thing, it set off the alarm bells and the immigration officers' heads, and so then we got put into like almost an interrogation room, and like they were like asking us a whole bunch of questions and like trying to get to the bottom of like, are we here for like anything like illicit or whatever, and so we ended up having to call someone and got it all figured out and showed the proper paperwork and stuff. It's just, if we had knew the proper way to communicate to them and not to like just say too much information, only give them the information that they need, then we would have been fine. But it just created a whole mess when it didn't need to. And then afterwards, so after we had been across Asia for several weeks, and then we were traveling back with the team, we stayed in Vancouver because my best friend was getting married. Nathan Wilson, he was getting married in BC, so we stayed in Vancouver. But because our visas were running out as well, we had to renew our visas that as we landed, and so we had to leave our luggage because the wedding was in Kelowna, BC, but we were getting picked up at the airport in Vancouver, and we only had a certain amount of time between then to get this all figured out. And so we had to leave all of our baggage at the like one of their storage facilities, pay for it to be like protected, and so no one would take it, that sort of thing, and then we could travel freely through Vancouver without having to carry our luggage with us. And we had to run, I had to run from my bank, from the airport to my bank, get a money order, then to the Thai embassy, and have my passport and my money order and everything ready to get that visa. And then they're processing it there. So now we're in Canada, our passports are there with them, and now we went back to the airport, traveled to Kelowna. A friend got married, and then because we needed our passports with us there, and we couldn't pick it up in BC, we had to get it flown to us from BC to Kelowna.
Wow.
or traveled by courier in order for us to have it in our hands, for us then to drive back to Vancouver and fly out. It
Wow.
was just this whole it was so stressful.
Just craziness.
Yeah, I hate how difficult they make it, and it's like these things just should be so simple, but they're not. They never are.
Yeah. Well, I understand why it needs to be complex, and you have the big system for a reason, because it is for making sure that not just anyone can come wandering into the country for whatever reason they please. They need to have the system in order.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you have to make things complicated for the sake of making things complicated. And that's the case because
yes.
Because for some of the times the different branches of the same government aren't even communicating with each other. Because that's what happened in Manila, actually, because apparently there actually was one way to get a volunteer visa in Manila, but for that the embassy there needed a written letter from Thai immigration back in Thailand.
Yeah.
Basically confirming the details that yes, we are volunteers at this registered organization and charity or whatever. But the thing is that when that information was relayed back to the immigration workers basically said, that's not our responsibility, it's the foundation's responsibility, which is true, and typically that is the case. But the way how they set it up in the embassy in Manila is that the only way they would accept it is if it came from Thai immigration directly, not the foundation. Because we tried that, but they didn't accept it. They said we had to hear it from immigration themselves. But just the fact that Thai immigration and the Thai embassy in Manila weren't communicating that to each other. Like the Thai embassy needs to hear it from Thai immigration, but Thai immigration saying that's the foundation's job. But when the foundation does it, which they should do it, the Thai embassy in Manila are given orders to not accept that. It's like they're not even communicating with each other, and like it was so frustrating. Like we tried so many times over the span of a whole week to try to do literally anything we could to get these volunteer visas in Manila, and that was the closest we got. It was the only thing that could work. But immigration back in Thailand were just saying that's not our job as the foundations. But again, embassy in Manila were given orders to not accept the foundation. They need to hear it from Thai officials directly. But again, Thai officials gave them those orders to follow by in the first place. So it was just so dumb. Like, yeah.
They created the problem.
Like you should have a system for security and all that, but it should. At least communicate. At least the government should communicate with itself. Like that should just be common sense. But
yeah.
But yeah, and it's just the one in Manila too, because the consulate I'm going to in Malaysia, like they're very clear. Yes, you can get volunteer visas here. They have a whole list of all the visas you can apply for and volunteers on there, with like a dozen other visas there. Which is why I'm going to that one, because the one in the Philippines, you can't get a volunteer visa. So I had to make sure ahead of time that whichever country, whichever embassy, whichever consulate that I choose to go to get a volunteer visa, actually offers volunteer visas. Which is why I'm going to this one in particular, because they make it very clear in their list, the volunteer visa. They have the application you can print out. I printed it out, filled it out. I have 2 copies of it and a blank one in case I need to refill it out. Like as far as I know, I'm fully prepared, but I'm still super stressed out about it.
Prepared as you need to be.
To my knowledge, I have everything in order, but
have extra passport
to go
photos.
Like I'm trying to follow it as best I can, but sometimes it's just so complicated. Like I'm trying to follow it along, but anyway, I've been rambling enough already.
Well, you have the 24-hour curry houses to look forward to in Malaysia, like. Those are the best. You know.
Yeah, I do hope to find
open
a nice
24/7. You know, you go to a curry house, sit there and just eat curry and.
I hope there's a good curry spot where I'm at. I'm not going to the embassy in Kuala Lumpur. I'm going to a different consulate, just because the other consulate was more clear about volunteer visas. Again, you probably can get a volunteer visa at the embassy in Kuala Lumpur, but they're not. But well, I don't know. It seemed like that was my original plan. I was going to go to the embassy in Kuala Lumpur, but the other consulate in a different city were more clear and direct, and also it sounds like wait times are shorter too, because it's not the capital, so it's less busy. It would make sense, and it's also closer to Thailand, so it's a shorter flight, which is also a nice bonus. Because I've been in Kuala Lumpur for one weekend a few years ago, which was really awesome. And there I had some really nice curry there. I just love that curry over there. So it'd be nice to find a nice curry spot.
I love the
city I'm going to, but
I forget what it's called. I love the lime drink, or the like the Asian orange that they use, like Asian orange or lime that they use to make this particular drink. I forget what it's called, but it's just so good. It's like lemonade, but the best lemonade you could ever have. It's just phenomenal.
I don't know if I've had it or not. Maybe I have, but I haven't been to Malaysia in like 4 years, and I was only there for a weekend. So if I have had it, I've probably forgotten, but I don't know. But I'll try to remember that, like orange, green lime, orange lemonade drink thing. I'll try to keep an eye out for something that matches the description. It does sound good though.
Well, at the curry houses, they'll have it.
Yeah, hopefully there's a nice curry house close to my hotel. That'd be good.
Yeah. At the place I stayed in Malaysia when I was there, it was just like the next building to where we were staying. So we were just like, get out of our like little hotel thing, walk just like a minute down the road, and you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it is the
Yeah.
same curry spot, because I don't think you were in that Malaysia trip when I was there 4 years ago, but I think
No, I
you
was.
probably would have
Yeah,
been in
it
the
was a different one.
same area that we went to on our trip, I would imagine. But I know that there was that one
Yeah.
curry spot. Like, we were only there for a weekend, but we went to that same restaurant like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And it was amazing every time. Like,
Yeah.
Had great curry and
So
naan
good.
bread and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Curry is
they're
like one of my favorite foods, so
yeah,
it'd be great to
and
find them.
they have chai too. They have chai tea there.
Oh, yes.
That was
Chai
nice.
tea is amazing.
Yeah,
Or technically it's
Yeah.
just chai, but you know.
yeah, chai.
It's good. Good stuff. I haven't had
Yes.
authentic chai in a while.
Yeah,
That's
I've
another
had
thing
it.
I should keep an eye out for Malaysia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was a good rant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
visa.
I mean, after the last 5 years of traveling, I had a few minor stories here and there. Well,
Yeah,
except I did talk in the last episode about the one really crazy event, but no, that was more
Yeah.
just airport thing related.
Mhm. This is more
Over the
like-
last 4 months, it's more visa related. And,
yeah.
I'm just
It
ready to
definitely
be
wears
over
on
this
you.
because I've just been
Yeah.
having this visa issue just hanging over my head for 4 months. I'm supposed to be on
Yeah.
a volunteer visa and I haven't had one for 4 months. Like I'm just
Yeah.
ready. I'm just ready to get
Yeah.
back.
Give it
the
to me.
visa I'm supposed to
Give
be
it to me.
on, and just
Yeah.
get back to what like I came to Thailand to be a volunteer in the first place. I want to get
Yeah.
back to that, you know. And
Yeah.
again, 4 months later, and a bunch of extra
Yeah.
expenses I didn't want to have to pay later. A
Yeah.
lot of wasted time later. To
Mhm.
my knowledge, I have everything in order. Everything looks like it
Yeah.
should go smoothly at the consulate. Everything should go well, but you know, time will
Yeah.
tell. It's just
You should document it. You should be like, hey, here's my progress report.
not. In the next episode, I can tell a story because it'll probably be a few weeks till we film it anyway.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to
Yeah.
wait till I get back in Thailand to film the next episode. In
Yeah.
which case, hopefully, I should be on a
Mhm.
volunteer visa next time I'm back. So
Yeah.
I'm just ready for this to be done.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe you'll have your beard shaved then too.
No.
I'm joking.
Maybe you'll get your hair cut. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll
I probably
grow
will.
your beard out and shave your hairs off.
I've been trying to grow my beard out. It's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
It gets too itchy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty itchy at the short stubble area, but once it grows
Mhm.
a decent way, it kind of
Yeah.
stops itching as much.
Yes, I need to get it to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do miss traveling, you know? There is excitement. As much as there is chaos, there's a lot of excitement with it too. And
Yeah.
just like having other kinds of food, experiencing other cultures. Yeah, I just love
Mm-hmm.
it.
I do enjoy it as well, but it's nice when stress isn't a factor.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, there's always
Well,
stuff that can happen, but, you know.
Traveling like northern Thailand is like one of my favorite things.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
it's
those
great.
are like my favorite memories because the first time I did it was in 2015, and oh no, it was end of 2015, beginning of 2016, and we were traveling to Potts Village. It was for the first time ever, and it was like a 14-hour train ride from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. And then we had to drive like 4 hours through the mountains, the winding mountains, in the back of a pickup truck. And like we were in the cab, and there's like no roof over us. It was just like a farmer's like, you know, fence to, you know, they could put cabbage or fruit, whatever in it, and just keep it, you know, from falling out. So we were just, you know, hanging on to these, you know, rails, and just like in the mountains in the night. It was cool, breezy, and there was like no lights, just the headlights of the truck, and so you could see the night sky as clear as you've ever seen it before. It was just so like vast and interesting, and I've never like experienced that before. It was just like this memory that is just enlarged in my brain of like that feeling of the cool air and the night sky. Oh, yeah, it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the stars too were at a different angle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was up in northern Thailand just a few weeks ago, and that's always nice to go up there.
Yeah.
And every time I go up there, I always have to try to eat some khao soi gai at least once when I'm up there. It's my favorite.
Yes.
Probably, honestly, just my all-around favorite food. Not just favorite Thai food or northern Thai food, just favorite food in general. It's so good.
Yeah.
So I was glad.
Khao soi gai.
Mm-hmm.
I wish.
When was the last time you had some khao soi?
Like too long.
Too long. Good answer. That's a fair answer. Yeah. Yeah. If people watching don't know what khao soi is, it's the best food ever. It's a northern Thai dish. So
northern Thai it's chicken soup.
Yeah, it's like it's a very
noodle
poor.
soup.
Yeah, it's a poor way of describing it because it doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
But it's like a spicy chicken noodle soup, but it's like a spicy red orange broth, and it's like not fettuccine noodles, but it's like in terms of shape. In terms of like shape, it's kind of like fettuccine, but it's not fettuccine at all. But it's like noodle, like egg noodle or something. Is like the noodles in there, and there's like some dried noodle thing that you put on top, and it's like chicken cooked in there, like a chicken thigh, chicken leg, or something in there, and then you can put like lime juice and like pickled something.
Onions.
Yeah, the onions and there's something pickled, like pickled. What is
turnip or something like that?
Something like that. Some pickled vegetable that you can throw in there, and maybe a bit of
ginger. Pickled ginger.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just all together. It's the best food ever.
Yeah. Well, it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Messy, but phenomenal.
Yeah. I think I have a picture.
Like
Actually, khao soi gai was my first dish I ever had in Thailand when I came back. Well, when I first came to Thailand, it was my first Thai meal I ever had, and I think I have a picture of it. If I find it, I'll throw it up on screen now. But it's super good. Best food ever.
Yeah. So good. Yeah.
Or, I'll throw a picture of khao soi. Maybe not the first time, but, I did take pictures of it when I was in Northern Ireland several months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll throw up that picture. But regardless, I'll throw up a picture of the dish. Whichever one I find. And,
Bro. There you go.
Sorry, guy. Covering my face right here. If I forget to edit the picture in, I'm gonna look really crazy.
You'll have many spots to add it into.
Here. Okay, I'm not a great video editor. I should stop doing this. Maybe I'll. I don't know. I should get better though. More practice. But anyway.
So I think to wrap up, that was our little rift here. We're talking about visa troubles, chaos, and just different, odd injuries that we've had and haircuts we've had over the years. Yeah, a lot of
talked about a few different things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was good. Yeah. If you've had any horror stories while traveling, let us know. Write it in the comments.
Yeah, or any visa issues or injuries with like chipped teeth or anything, or travel stories of yourself, or like if you're like from a Western country or something, and you came to like Asia or some other country that's been like significantly cheaper, just something about the culture in general that's like really awesome that you find profound enough to share. You can do that, or food that you is now one of your favorites while traveling. Like us, we have found khao soi gai. Don't have that in Canada, but it's like the best food ever.
Yeah.
find that only in Thailand, mainly northern Thailand. But yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, if you have any stories related to anything we talked about today, feel free share. Let us
Reach
know.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is all for today. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next episode.
Yes.
Cool.